Shabbat Shalom, we sing together, Hine Matov. Hine Matov Umanayim, Shabarachim Gam Yachad. 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 Sing with me. Hine Matov Umanayim, Shabarachim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanayim, Shabarachim Gam Yachad. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're so glad to be together with you here. Tonight, this beginning of the reading of the Torah, whoops, as my computer falls off its perch. Life is fragile, as we know, friends. Life is fragile. We are taking care to look around our Zoom room and look around our own homes and in gratitude come to this Parshat Bereshit, the beginning of the beginning. And last week we read from Parshat Bereshit too. But this week we get to hear from a young person coming to Parshat Bereshit. Ben Puffenberger is bar mitzvah this weekend. If you don't know Ben, he's a great guy. He is sharp, he is cool, he's nice. That's maybe the best thing I can say about anybody, because nice goes the longest way in my book. Above all, he's a kind person. And I would like us tonight to think about what it means to approach a beginning, Bereshit, bara Elohim, in the beginning, with a bet. The second letter of the alphabet is bet, and that begins the whole Torah, Bereshit, in the beginning. What if, we sort of play this little game, we come to the beginning of the Torah and we act as if there was no Aleph. We start with bet. We know that there was something that came before, but we say to ourselves, we're going to just start anew. We're going to always start anew. And that's what Ben Puffenberger did for his bar mitzvah. He just said, I'm sure that there are a lot of people who have read this Torah portion before, but I'm going to look at it with my own eyes and make sense of it with my own faculties and from my own life. I want to charge everybody who's here tonight to look at this Shabbat with new eyes, even if it's you identifying one new thing. Ben has so much to say about this week's Torah portion. If you tune in tomorrow, you'll hear him. Awesome words of Torah he's going to give. But don't we owe it to ourselves to blink away some of the old stuff, some of the old things that kind of hold us down. We think that we know the world way, certainly I did when I was 13, but then I, as Bob Dylan said, I was so much older then, I'm younger than that now. We got to try to be a little bit younger than we are every Shabbat. We got to kind of find the wonder and the awe. Bereshit, this Shabbat invites us, just like every Shabbat does, but we kind of get tired, we get tired. Let's blink away that, that we've seen this before. We haven't seen this day before. We haven't seen this moment before. How lucky, how blessed are we? Let's take that bet that stands for Bereshit and let's turn that into a bracha, a blessing. Let's look at this totally like we haven't seen it before. Can you imagine if you'd never seen candles lit for Shabbat before? How would we explain this to anybody? This is because we believe in light. We believe in positivity and we believe in community and friendship and family. let's light those candles, and we're going to ignore my barking dogs in the background and just turn to our Shabbat candles. If you have them in front of you, we're going to have the Puffenbergers light their Shabbat candles and lead us in this blessing. Mazel tov, Puffenbergers. Will you lead us? Where are the Puffin? Hi, guys. All right.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotah v'tzivanu la'adler shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen. And Mazel Tov. Well done, and Mazel Tov. Thank you. Thank you, Drew, also. You know, Drew gets a lot of credit there. Mazel Tov to Stacy and Eric and Drew. And now it's time to hug Ben. Any of you who can, for the rest of us. Come on, Ben, let him hug you. Okay, Shabbat Shalom, Puffenbergers. There it is. There it is, group hug. Shabbat Shalom to you. Shabbat Shalom to us. And away we go. Let's greet the Shabbat with Lecha Dodi.
Sing with me this beautiful melody. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat, nekabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat, nekabela. Shamor vezachor bedibur echad, hishmianu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, ushmo echad, leshem tiferet veritila. Lecha Dodi, your turn. Likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat, nekabela. Lecha Dodi, that's it. Likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat, nekabela. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat, nekabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat, nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki ba'orech, kumi ori, uri uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat, nekabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat, nekabela. We rise for the Shabbat bride. Bobri v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha uv'zola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, boi chala, boi Shabbat Nikavela L'chadodi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbat Nikavela L'chadodi 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 We remain standing for our Baruch Hu prayer. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed Le'olam Va'ed Yalalai 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 You may be seated.
Including our friends the Puffenbergers if they want to, because they have a lot of standing to do tomorrow. And friends, we come to a blessing for, you can really appreciate these colors that are coming through with the fall colors. So let's say this like we wrote it ourselves. The colors of early evening sky blend and deepen, allowing new lights to be seen, twinkling through the branches, the promise that in darkness, new light will be revealed. And we make a blessing for this evening, for this color, and for this moment.
Ma'avir yom u'mevi laila u'mavdil ben yom u'vein laila Adonai tzvaot shemo el chai v'kayam tamidim l'chaleinu le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Amariv Aravim.
And we'll read this together, blessing Torah and thought and learning. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery.
Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. And now I'd like to invite Ben, that's right, you Ben, to lead us right now in our Shema prayer. So you can take yourself off mute, Ben.
Off mute, Ben.
There you are. And then you can come, can you see the screen okay from where you are? Come close. Awesome. So we'd love for you to lead us in our Shema and Ve'ahavta prayer.
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'kol nafshecha u'b'kol me'odecha. V'hayu hadibarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alutecha Eshinatan Beyorta Bam Beshitecha Betecha Vilatecha Baderet ושעותיך וקומך, ושעותם ליוד על ידיך, והיו תוספות בין עיניך. וכתבתם על מזר ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו עשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים להם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem emet. Yasher koach. I mean, to your strength, Ben. Kol hakavod. And we'll hear more from Ben at the end when we bless our kiddush wine and our hamotzi. And so you can tell what an amazing leader we're going to have tomorrow for Shabbat morning. Yasher koach.
Well done, my friend. We remind ourselves with this reading, doubting is but the forefront of faith, a faith in the infinite growth of an unbounded creation. A doubting age is one of restlessness and discontent with what is current. A doubt is an idea that is alive. To doubt that the past has uncovered all things is to express faith that many things are still to be uncovered. To doubt that we have grown to our full stature and knowledge is to express faith that we may develop into beings of such power and dignity that we cannot as yet imagine what shall be.
We sing our song of redemption, Mi Chamocha. Mi Chamocha ve'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha nedar b'kodesh, Mi Chamocha ve'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilo, oseh pele, Nora tehilo, oseh pele, Adonai milok le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael.
So Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I've been thinking a little bit about, every time I get to, and I have the privilege of teaching it all, especially to younger folks, such as B'nai Mitzvah, I really come to appreciate that it's not to be expected that every one of us should understand Judaism inside out, upside down, sideways. Just because we may participate, come to synagogue, enroll our kids in school, come to classes, it shouldn't be assumed. And I wonder if I could take advantage of the chat box for just a second. I wonder if you might help me. If you had to explain Judaism to a Martian, and you are talking to, in many ways, a Martian. I am from Mars. So, but if you had to, thank you, rimshot. So if you had to explain Judaism in a sentence or in a word to somebody from not of this planet, what would you say? Let's maybe see what the chat box says. I don't know if I'll be able to read it, but I think it's important that we have kind of, as I said, a new take on an old story. This story comes up every single year. This comes, every single time, this time of year. And so we know it's coming, but we have to look at it anew, right? If we're going to appreciate it, if we're going to embody it, bring it into our senses, make good of it. So how would you explain it? Cantor Moses, I think you might have.
You want me to read some
Do
of
you have
these?
any answers?
Yes, we wonderful answers. So I was the first one. I said l'chaim, to life, and we have someone. Well, we can share. Susan Lubo said we have a moral obligation to repair the world. Clemmy Kaiden said tikkun olam. Paula Kaufman, Judaism is a way of life. And Joy Gonsorowski said a way of understanding ourselves and our world. Beautiful. I say Martians would get the picture a little bit there.
I think so. I think so. I mean, it's kind of amazing. If we sit with this, if we really, that's what Torah is. If we really sit with this, we'll maybe come to those beautiful revelations. And it might be a question we ask ourselves every time we come to prayer, whether that's 3 times a day, as traditional Jews might, or once a week, or once a year, whatever it is. But when we come, do we have a new understanding? And can we turn it over and over again? I have to ask myself, thank you for those answers. Those are awesome. I hope somebody will send those to me because I really want to read them all, but I can't while I'm sharing my screen here. So
there's one more. Zachary Looper Friedman said community and a way to navigate the world while supporting each other. And the Woolen family said resilience.
Ooh, people. Can we have all this on a t-shirt, please? I would like a t-shirt with all of those beautiful things that you said. Maybe one a day, that would take me. Thank you everybody for answering, gorgeous answers. I want to maybe then, if you were a Martian, what would you make of this? The fact that it says in the beginning of our Torah, we keep on coming back to it, Torah, Torah, Torah. What does it mean then that our Torah starts with these words? Some of these words come right at the beginning. Vayivra Elohim et ha'adam b'tzalmo, b'tzelem Elohim bara otam, oto, zecher v'unekeva bara otam. And God created, 7th day, the human being in the divine image. In the image of God did the eternal create humankind. Sorry, 6th day, male and female, God created them. This is, what we would call in just a few words, the notion of tselem Elohim. The fact that we were created in the image of something godly and holy. And maybe next week I'll ask you another question. You can fill this in, but something to ask ourselves is, well, what does that mean? What does it mean? Does that have anything to do with resilience? Does God embody resilience in some way? And are we supposed to enact that? Does God resemble some sort of tikkun olam in the world, some repair of the world? And are we supposed to embody that? How do we do that? Well, the rabbis of the Talmud said, it's really wonderful. They said this in the Mishnah. What it comes down to is being made in the image of God is supposed to remind us of kavod habriot, that actually everything in the world has to be honored. God's creation should be honored. And that's what halakha, Jewish law, is based on. So that's why it comes up at the very beginning of the Torah, because we're supposed to see everything, in the image of God. Everything comes in the image of God. And that is what another philosopher coming after the time of the rabbis would call actually the categorical imperative. That's Immanuel Kant. And he said that we should, and we're going to take apart these words just little by little, act only according to that maxim, whereby you can at the same time will that it should become a universal law. I'll say it again. The categorical imperative. Act only according to that maxim, whereby you can at the same time will that it should become a universal law. Meaning that whatever you are doing should reflect actually that which we should all do. We all got to do this. So anything you do, you're saying everybody should do this. That's the categorical imperative. And I want us to just think about this for a moment. in terms of, and sometimes I'm very self-conscious of when we come up as a people in the news. I want to be able to say, yes, that is my people. That is my people. And I've found myself bristling a little bit this week. I love all of the Jewish people. And then I had to pull myself back and say, okay, Sharon, this is your people. You got to love them, even if they decide, as many of our Jewish brothers and sisters in traditional neighborhoods, and for good reasons, they may not understand exactly the health imperatives that are required with wearing masks, have been feeling attacked. Our Haredi brothers and sisters, the ultra-Orthodox in many neighborhoods in Jerusalem and in New York, have been feeling this, that their religious freedom is being infringed upon by governments that are telling them, please wear masks. Please wear masks when you daven, when you come together to pray. Please wear masks when you gather, when you go to the store. And there may not be that information, that is readily available to certain communities throughout the world, not just the Jewish ultra-Orthodox, but certainly many people are not necessarily exposed to social media and the news the way that we kind of take for granted. But there is something that is common, and that is kavod habriot. That is the categorical imperative. That is knowing and seeing the image of God in everything and everyone. And so that, in other words, has to become, we have to take for granted, we cannot take for granted the fact that we know certain things, that germs are spread in certain ways. We wear masks, in my opinion, to show love and to show the holiness of another person. And I sort of get on my soapbox in my own family, and sometimes, they're like, enough already, please stop, woman, with your masks. But, they agree with me that we have to protect each other, and it's a sign of love. So how do we then come back to this idea at the very beginning of the Torah? What is Judaism about? If we're going to say anything, we can also say that it is about, if we had to symbolize, who we are as a people, yes, it's a kippah, yes, it's a star around the neck, and yes, it's a mask. It's showing the love that we have for others. No more important message than you matter. You matter and I matter. And how do we show that? These days, we show that we are part of a people, whether you're a Zionist or a Jew or both, we show that we're part of a collective. And that is a beautiful thing, because we could walk this world alone. That is also in these first chapters of Genesis. There's a guy who has to walk alone because he killed his brother. Cain killed his brother Abel, and he walks the earth alone, a marked man. We have to mark ourselves in the right way and show we care. And I know I'm probably preaching to the choir on this one, and this is actually not a political statement as much as it's a statement of who are we? And we can see who we are looking into the eyes of the other. And really, that's kind of all we have these days when we're out and about, those eyes. And you know what? The eyes have it. The eyes have to look at the other and see the image of God. And we show that, and we send a hug when we do that. And actually, we realize when we come to this part of the service, we're all under the same tent. Let's just be in there. Let's make room for each other. We can have divergent views, but let's all come back to Tselem Elohim at the end of the day and respecting each other and God's image. Hashkivenu, friends. Ruminate a little with me on who can we let into the tent here? Because that's what we're trying to build, a Sukkot Shalom every single week, every single day of our lives. A beautiful tent of peace.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamitenu Shamreinu L'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamitenu Shamreinu L'chaim. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שמרנו לחיים. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. This parsha, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת.
Standing or sitting, we come to our Amidah prayer.
אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, קודשים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
A few moments to quietly reflect on our own, and then be seated whenever you're done. Who are you thinking about who maybe is ill? We want to think about them and send our chizuk to them. The best kind of strengthening that we can possibly give them, just by letting them know that we're naming them and we see them and we hear them. We notice their pain and their suffering. Tonight, you can write your names of the people you're wishing healing for in the chat box as I read our list from our congregation. Daniel ben Baruch ve'Carmela, Carmela bat Sylvia ve'Mac, Shraga ben Alexander, Yaakov Yitzchak ben David ve'Rachav, Eliyahu ben Sarah, Harav Reuven Shlomo ben Mendel ve'Leah, Naomi bat Miriam ve'Harav Yosef, Gittel bat Yehuda ve'Chaya, Zissel Chana bat Yita Rivka, Lavia bat Rachel, Gavriela bat Nehemiah uDevorah, Yirmiyahu ben Yosef ve'Rachel, Sander ben Sarah, Norma Agranoff, Bob Aronson, Barbara Baumgartner, Pat Cottle, Jim Connolly, Lily Kovitz, Bree Craig, Isabel Fazone, Larry Footer, Ellie Guinness, Nate Goldberg, Jane Hooker, Keisha Hutchins, Ethan Kadish, Ruth Kahn, Del McKillinger, Linda Mendel, William Nolan, Anthony Tanith, Clark Patton, Helene Paselnik, Cassie Rush, Lisa Scher, Ben Simon, Doug Stossel, Jeff Swartz, Lee Tenenbaum, and Annette Turner. In addition to all of those people whose names we are mentioning in the chat box, in addition to the millions of people across the globe who are sick from coronavirus and those who suffer from any affliction, we now sing with the Cantor.
El na rafana la, please God, please heal those we love. El na rafana la nu. Sing that with me. El na rafana la nu. Repeat after me. Dear God of our ancestors, help us renew our faith. Grant us a perfect healing. Bring peace to all our days.
We also spend some time thinking about those people who take care of us. I just spent some time talking to a friend of mine who's a palliative care doctor. Oh my goodness, people who take care of us, they are tzaddikim. They are, incredible people. They just take care of our needs. Anyone among you and among them, we say this for all who are faithfully taking care of the community needs, may God reward them, protect them from, and remove from them all sickness, and heal them completely. May God send them blessings and success in all they do, together with all of humanity. And we say, Amen.
And let's all read together this prayer for our country. Our God and God of our ancestors, we ask your blessings for our country, for its government, for its leaders and advisors, and for all who exercise just and rightful authority. Teach them insights of your Torah, that they may administer all of affairs of state fairly, that peace and security, happiness and prosperity, justice and freedom may forever abide in our midst. Creator of all flesh, bless all the inhabitants of our country with your spirit. May citizens of all races and creeds forge a common bond in true harmony, to banish hatred and bigotry and to safeguard the ideals and free institutions that are the pride and glory of our country. May this land under your providence be an influence for good throughout the world, uniting all people in peace and freedom and helping them to fulfill the vision of your prophet. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they experience war anymore. And let us say, Amen.
Amen. And also a prayer for Israel. Rock and champion of Israel, please bless the state of Israel, first fruit of the flourishing of our redemption. Guard it in the abundance of your love. Spread over it the shelter of your peace. Send forth your light and truth to those who lead and judge it, and to those who hold elective office. Establish in them, through your presence, wise counsel, that they might walk in the ways of justice, freedom, and integrity.
Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tu Yisrael ve'goalo. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Tu Yisrael ve'goalo.
Cantor, I think I got spoiled singing with you just 6 feet apart.
I got spoiled, that beautiful harmony. We'll do it.
I know.
There will be a day. We'll all be able to sing in harmony together. We rise for our Aleinu prayer. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. You may be seated.
Let's take a few minutes now toward the end of our service. We always close with Kaddish, and we're thinking of those people who are just emblazoned, as this symbol evokes, in our minds and our hearts and our souls. This Shabbat, we are remembering in the period of the Shloshim, the first 30 days after someone has died. We're remembering congregants David Kotlin, Sanford Tizer, Maureen Sanford, and Sue Cohn. If you're joining us within the first 11 months after having lost somebody that you love, if you'll please stand and or include their name in the chat box if you are going to be saying Kaddish tonight. And this is the yahrzeit, the anniversary of the following deaths. And we remember their lives well. Selma Abel, Stella Bowman, Flora Cohen, Max Frank, Samuel Gerstein, Melissa Beth Goldberg, Jack Heltzer, Bessie Kahn, Shirley Joan Kalish, Merrill Claren, Julius Benjamin Knight, Dominic A. Leone, Sarah Levenstein, Stuart Levine, Louis H. Mendelson, Melvin Miller, Paul Miller, Esther Napoleon, Carolyn Brooke Nolan, Adam Nolman, David Orlins, Bud Darren Orloff, Pearl Rifle, Alex Scheiman, Bertha Rose Segal, Nettie Weisbach, and Rose Zell. If there are any additional names, will you please let us know in the chat box? And now we all stand together for Kaddish Yatom, remembering them and the blessed emblazoned imprint they left on our lives. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'olma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chai echon uvyom echon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen, Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Leolam U'olmei Olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal Shmei D'kudsha Brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran v'olma v'imru amen Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'romav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the source of comfort bring comfort to you, strength to those of us who feel weak as we remember with pain their loss, but also renewed energy as we remember the gifts that they gave us. Zichronam livracha, may their memories bless us all. And we say amen. Please be seated. Cantor, you want to take it away?
Sure. We have a very special Shabbat, clearly. We are going to have Ben, I think it's the next slide, but Ben Puffenberger is going to become a bar mitzvah. Yes, there's that slide. And we are just so proud and feel so overjoyed for Ben and your entire family. And also at the same time, as the rabbi said before, it's going to be a triple header Shabbat. We're going to have some Jewish meditation. It's not August 29th. It was, but it is going to be happening tomorrow. And it was and will be, right? And also Tot Shabbat will still be happening on Facebook, as I'll be with Ben tomorrow at 10, but there will be a Tot Shabbat as well that you can find on Facebook for all your tots. And then, friends, before we know it, it's going to be Hanukkah, and we're already thinking about how we're celebrating. And we're going to have a very special guest, actually, on the Friday night Shabbat of Hanukkah. His name is Alan Goodis, and he's a wonderful musician, educator, teacher, and he's going to be doing a wonderful Hanukkah celebration sort of concert. But before that, he is going to make a tremendous video of all of our kids. So this is not only an announcement of the special workshop that's happening in a couple weeks after Tefillah at Sunday school. At 11:30, Alan is going to do a workshop with all of the students who want to sign up. It's for everybody to come and make their own music video from a beautiful song that some of our kids who went to Camp Gucci wrote. So I encourage you to pass that along to all of your kids and their kids to come and join this very special workshop on Sunday the 25th at 11:30, and then for Hanukkah, I think it's December 11th, we're going to have a wonderful celebration with Alan.
We really do want you to bring in anybody who's connected to Temple Israel here because, with our school being such that it is, some kids are joining us, some kids are not. We really want to get the word out there. So if you can think of one kid that's connected to a grown-up who's connected to somehow Temple Israel, we want them because this has got to be we got to make this a really bang up Hanukkah. That's what we're going for, friends. And I just want to thank Cantor Moses for always thinking like a trillion steps ahead and we've been talking about Alan Goodis for a long time. So
he was, we've had, it's going to be
awesome.
Fun.
It's going to be great.
And now, my friend Ben, if you have your Kiddush cup ready for you, there it is. I see it next to the beautiful candles. And if you want to unmute yourself and lead us in our Kiddush. Oh, try again. Try to unmute. There. There you go.
Would you like to stand up, Ben?
Okay.
Feel free to stand up. Yeah, we can. Perfect.
Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzav lanu, b'shabbat kodesh b'ahava uvratzon, yihi lanu zikaron l'ma'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehillah l'mikrei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'cherta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodesh b'havai ratzon kinhatanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Hi. Drew, you want to help with the motzi too?
Yeah. Okay, so I got some.
Teddy, you got Teddy.
Just hold a piece each.
Teddy, stay here.
Hope the dog doesn't.
The dog can do the motzi with us.
You might get the challah.
Challah, right?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Go for it. Take a piece for all of us. There you go.
Yay, well done.
Mazel tov.
Awesome job, you guys. Have a great time with your family. I know that's in from out of town. It's going to be awesome. Or in town? Out of town, I think. Very exciting to have you all together. And thank you so much, everybody, for coming tonight. We're just hoping that you feel the warmth and the gratitude and seeing with new eyes this Shabbat. And all we can make is a blessing for peace. We hope to see you soon. We miss you. And shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Ve'al kulam. Everyone. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Ve'al kulam. Shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol haolam. Salam. Shalom. Salam aleinu. Ve'al kol haolam. Salam. Shalom. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Ve'al kulam. Shabbat shalom.